new in 9.2. I am Dave Usen. I'm the Senior Customer Success Manager at SnapStream here. And I'm with Aaron Thompson as well, who is our Product Manager. Again, I just want to thank you guys for coming and participating in this event. I want to point out that you can ask questions on the right-hand side of your screen. We welcome all questions, and while we're going through it, we're going to answer any questions you guys have as we're going along. I also want to point out that this will be recorded and it will be available to everybody on YouTube. If you have any questions moving forward, just go ahead and interrupt us there. Before we get started, I wanted to kind of invite you guys to NAB. We are at booth SU 9802. NAB is a conference for the National Association of Broadcasters in Las Vegas on April 6th to 11th. The floor is open on the 8th to the 11th. And we're going to be demonstrating everything SnapStream at our booth, including the things that we are demonstrating here at 9.2. Please contact SnapStream for a meeting, or just come on by and we'll be happy to talk to you guys. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Aaron to tell us a little bit more about what's new in 9.2.
Thank you, Dave. Like Dave just mentioned, please stop by and see us at NAB, schedule a meeting, and we'd be happy to talk with you about SnapStream or anything else you'd like to chat about. So I'm hearing someone mention that audio is dropping out for them. Are you still experiencing that with me, or is that a problem that Dave was having? And if anyone else is having trouble hearing, please raise your hand. Okay, so sounds like it might be just that one person. So, because I'm getting a lot of responses that it is fine on most people's ends. Okay, wonderful. It appears that her sound is now working. Perfect. All right, so sorry about the interruption. If any sound drops out for anyone, please raise your hand or type in the chat window or send it in a question. So let's go ahead and get started. Please use your question box if you have anything that you'd like to that you have any questions about. So without further ado, one of the biggest things that we added in SnapStream 9.2 is proxy file generation and playback. So a lot of you have people that are working from home or through a VPN, or maybe some of you are road warriors yourselves. So proxy generation can help with that. 9.2 can automatically generate proxy files while you're recording, and then you can watch that recording live or later on at that lower bit rate while still clipping and performing any other operations on the original high resolution, high bit rate version of the file or the video. Every user can configure for themselves whether they want to, by default, view the original or view the proxy version when starting playback. But as you can see here, you can select on the fly while you're watching a video to switch from one to the other. So for example, if you're watching a video in the original high-res format and you're getting the buffering spinning wheel of death, try clicking over the proxy and that should help you. So a good example here would be if you're producing a show and you're not based out of DC, but then, every once in a while they tend to have elections, and sending some of your folks to DC would be very helpful. They can use proxy files to more easily access SnapStream remotely and without worrying about bandwidth or a spotty internet connection. Or, for example, if you have hundreds or even thousands of users that are trying to watch SnapStream at the same time, proxy file generation should be able to help with that as well. Any questions on proxy file generation before I go any further?
Aaron, we're getting a question in. What is the bit rate of this proxy file that they'd be selecting?
Great question. So moving on to the next slide, I'll get to that in just a moment. This is an example of what a proxy version might look like. So on the left side, you have an example of a high resolution proxy original recording. And on the right side, you have a lower bit rate, lower resolution proxy file that you can view in your browser while you're, clipping or just viewing content. The bitrate itself is 850 kilobits per second for the video, and I think it's 96 kilobits for the audio. So you're looking at, a little under 950 total for the proxy file. And the resolution is going to be, the height will always be 360. So if you have a 16:9 original recording like you see here, you're looking at 640 by 360 as the final resolution. Any other questions about that?
Yes, one question. Will this require any sort of additional hardware?
Yes. The generating the proxy files is a very processor intensive operation. So in order to generate proxy versions of your recordings, you'll need some extra hardware. So we've created an extra node that you can add on to your SnapStream installation that allows you to generate those proxy files.
And is that bit rate, can you modify that resolution or bit rate of that proxy is a question that's coming in.
So great question. In 9.2, the bitrate and resolution are fixed, mainly because of testing purposes and making sure that the hardware will do what we say it will do for the number of streams, which is 20 at a time. But in the next version of our software, we will be adding the ability to customize that, and which will obviously come with some guidelines in terms of how many streams will allow you to generate the proxy files for.
One other question that's coming in, a really good question. Is that proxy considered frame accurate?
Yes, it will be. It will be synced directly with the original recording itself. So if you make a clip from the proxy file while you're watching the proxy file, the clip made off of the original version will start at the exact same frame and end at the exact same frame. Any other questions about proxy? Okay, well, perfect. I'm having a question here about proxy generation hardware, the cost of it. So I don't know off the top of my head. So unless Dave has the answer, we can get that for you afterward, or if you contact sales, they can get that to you as well.
I believe it's $1,000 plus per channel is what we're currently doing that. But please talk to your salesperson in order to get a more accurate quote. There is a page on the site that will cover the cost there, and we will we'll talk to you about that a little bit more.
Yes, as Dave mentioned, it's actually $3,000 per channel, not $1,000 per channel. Sorry, let me bring this up because I want to make sure that my answers are fully correct. It sounds like the pricing is a little bit more complicated. It looks like it will be a I will make our CEO presenter for a moment so that he can talk in more detail about the pricing.
Yeah, hi. This is Rakesh. Yeah, so if you go to this page on our site, it's under how it works, products, and proxy generation node. We've got some really basic specs on the proxy generation node hardware. It's a 3,000 one-time cost, so it's not a function of the number of channels. That hardware can cover 20 generating proxies for 20 simultaneous recordings. And then we charge, depending on which of our pricing models you're on, you pay a adder to your recurring cost per channel per month for the proxy generation add-on node. So we can work through all the details with that. Just let us know. We've tried to make this really easy to add on to your existing SnapStream with the low upfront cost and the recurring adds on some, but not too much. And one of these can cover, like I said, up to 20 concurrent records and still have bandwidth to handle clips and exports, because when you clip something or export something, a proxy has to be generated for those as well. So yeah, just get in touch. If you email sales@snapstream.com or me, Rakesh@snapstream.com, we can, get you set up with, a quote and help you answer any other questions around getting you set up on the proxy side. In the future, I think we'll probably have servers that include the proxy generation capabilities, so it won't need to be something that you add on to your SnapStream servers. So back over to you, Aaron.
Thank you, Rakesh. So that hopefully clears up those questions. If you have any more, please contact sales. Can everyone see my screen again? Raise your hand if you do not see the proxy slide that we were viewing before. Okay, great, perfect. So one of the next things that we did in 9.2 was we added, we decided that our library needed a makeover. While we were very proud of what we did a few years ago, I think that one thing that was glaringly missing was thumbnails for all videos. So in addition to thumbnails for clips, now you can see we've added thumbnails for the videos in the library themselves, all of the recordings that are coming in. And we also kind of trim down and reposition some of the elements in order to fit it, but also to make it a lot easier to read on a smaller screen, so on a laptop. Any questions on that? Okay, so
one question is coming in, Aaron. Will this be with old clips or new clips that are being recorded?
So the thumbnails will only be generated for new clips. So, new recordings, so that as you're recording new things, thumbnails will be generated. Older recordings won't get thumbnails, mainly because of processing purposes, that this is, again, a processor-intensive thing. So if that's necessary, please reach out to support. In lots of cases, you might have an archive that's maybe a week or two old. So the problem then solves itself in about a week or two, that you won't necessarily have any recordings sitting around that will need those thumbnails. But if you have a deeper archive that you need those thumbnails for or would like to see them, please reach out to support, and we can see what we can do for you there. Another question I'm seeing a few people ask is how the thumbnails are generated themselves. So what we're doing is the long story is that it's a complex algorithm, but the short story is we're trying to detect the first non-still frame or black frame. So we're looking through the first few seconds of the video to see something actually occurring, and then taking the beginning of that. So any other questions on the new library thumbnails? Please make use of your question window or chat window. Okay, I shall move on. One of the things that we're really excited about with 9.2 is automatic transcript generation. So some of your programs or recordings, videos coming in don't have closed captions, especially live events. If you're covering a news conference that has spotty or no closed captions, pausing for a moment, I'm getting a question about the thumbnails in the library. They're asking if you can change that thumbnail. The answer is no. It's just an automatically generated thumbnail. We can investigate in the future if the feature's not working very well, but I would urge you to try it out and see how it's doing for you. And if you can give us some examples of it not working, we can tune the algorithm. So moving back to transcript generation. So let's say you're covering a news conference and it doesn't have closed captions for it. The automatic transcript generation can help you with that. So after the recording is finished, you can go into the library, select the item, and as you can see here, from the More Actions menu, click the Transcribe button, and that will generate a transcript of that recording. And when you're viewing it in the future, or if you want to download it, you'll have that available. You can also set this up as a workflow. So if there's a specific channel that you have or a specific show that you know isn't going to have closed captions, you can set a workflow up to automatically transcribe it when the recording is finished. A question coming in is how fast? When does that transcription show up? The answer is it's about 2 times as fast as the recording itself. So if you have a 30-minute recording, it'll take about 15 minutes for you to receive the transcription. Another question, Does the transcription only work after the recording is complete? That is correct. It does not work on in-progress recordings at this time. And another question coming in, can you upload videos into SnapStream and transcribe them? The answer is yes. You just use the upload button up there in the top right you see, and then once it's in the library, you can just select the transcribe action. So as you can see up here in red, the automatic transcript generation is in beta. It should be enabled for everyone that is upgrading to 9.2, and I would love for you to try it out, even just once, and let us know how well or how well it's working for you, or if you experience issues with it. We want to refine this algorithm over time, and we can only do that with your help. So please try it out and let us know how it's working for you. Any other questions about the automatic transcript? Yes, question about that the closed captioning, is it overwritten if you try to transcribe a recording that already has it? The answer is yes. It will override the closed captions that are displayed in our system and in the files as you export them. Another question coming in asking if you could edit the transcript. The answer is yes. That feature is already in our product today from previous versions. So if you go over to, Dave can show you this later during the demo portion, but you can go over and edit the transcription of the recording itself. Any other questions on the automatic transcript generation? Yes, so someone's asking if this works on a live stream event. It will not transcribe it as the live event is occurring, but you can have it create a transcription after the live event is over. Question about foreign language transcription. The engine itself is built for that. Our testing at this point has been done only on English, but we will be over time expanding that testing into other languages that'll be part of the algorithm refinement. You are more than welcome to try it today and see how well it works for you, and I'd love to hear feedback on that. It might already be working better than I expect it to. Any other questions? Okay. We shall move on, and if you have any other questions, please type them in the question window. So one is asking Trinidadian dialect, if it will recognize that. I assume that you could try it. Our interface isn't set up for every single character out there, so it might look, some of the characters might not show up, but please try it out. Question coming in, will the transcripts have time codes just like the SRT does today? The answer is yes. It will actually be written as an SRT and added to the search index as if it had been closed captioned in the first place. And for those that don't know, an SRT file is just a closed caption file that sits next to the recording on the file system that contains all of the captions.
Aaron, this is Rakesh. I was just going to chime in that we have quite a few people on the call for this update. If you can imagine using the transcribe feature, the automatic transcript generation, would you mind just sending a short note to us in the chat here, you know, and let us know what kind of like non-caption file you might use this feature to generate captions for? That would be helpful to us just as a feedback tool. So maybe we'll share some of those with the group once we get a couple of those. So great. Back over to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Rakesh. Right. So for a few years, we've been having some customers ask us about showing closed captions over the video itself. You can obviously, as you can see here in the picture, see the closed captions on the side as you used to. But one of the things that we've added in 9.2 is the ability to turn on captions display on the video itself. And this will work both in windowed mode and in full screen. You can see here, you just click that little CC button and it will then start displaying those captions. So for example, you know, this helps out with the hearing impaired, obviously, so that they can, you know, read what's going on. It also helps, you know, if you have to comply with any specific regulations to make sure that your broadcasts, all of your tools are hearing impaired, compliant, and allows them to read the captions. Another great example would be if you're showing SnapStream in a public area, maybe you have it on mute. Now you can, you know, turn on this CC button and show the closed captions then as well. This feature will also work in our multi-viewer. So if you're, you know, full screen watching a few channels at a time, you can, you know, mute, you know, you can even mute the channel you're watching and just see what's going on here. Sorry, you can read what's being said on all of them. And we've also added this to our set-top box, our SnapStream set-top box. So that can, you know, it works just the same way as if it were, you know, the web player. Any other questions about the closed? Oh, sorry, got one coming in here now. Someone's asking if the closed captions are burned into the video on export. The answer is currently today it's not. This is being displayed in real time, but in the future we will be adding functionality to burn the captions into the video itself. And I should also note via a question that these captions you're seeing here are not the captions that we clean up for you. These are the original broadcast captions as they were transmitted. Okay, any other questions? Okay, great. All right, so one other great feature that we've added for SnapStream 9.2 is digital signage. So, pardon me, have a question coming in about the captions, asking if the clips will have the captions, even if they're not burned in. I'd ask you to clarify that question back to I'm gonna guess that you mean clips on export or in just the clips in general. Yes, when displaying them, they will show up, but when they are exported or posted to social media, they will not be there. Okay, so one of the things that we added for 9.2, hold on, another question coming in. Sorry, question that I already answered. The digital signage that we've added, essentially how it will work is you create a playlist of videos, clips, and then on the playlist screen, as you can see here, you will see the Play to Set-Top Box button that you can press and then select all of the set-top boxes that you want to play this video to, or this playlist to, just like you could do with videos and clips before. So again, if you have your set-top box in some common area, you can have it cycling through clips of content so that you can, allow anyone that's visiting your school or your business while they're waiting, they can see clips about what you've been up to. You can interleave that with some TV videos. You can currently not post or put still images into the playlist, but that'll be a feature that we're adding in future versions. So I'll show you a sample of today plus the future. So what this might look like on the set-top box is you can see here 2 clips. They'll also be interleaved with these still images, and this is currently the demo version of it, but that's what you'll see eventually and where this will be headed. But for now, try it out with just clips and let us know how much you like it. Any questions about the digital signage? All right, great. Well, any questions that you have, please type them in the box, and we'll get to them as soon as possible. But I've talked long enough, so and seeing is believing. So I am going to turn this over to Dave to show you all this great new stuff that we've been building. So Dave, take it away.
Perfect. Let me show my screen. And I believe you guys should be able to see my screen now. Again, my name is Dave Usen. I am the Customer Success Manager here at SnapStream. And we're going to look over some of the things that we learned today and about 9.2. The first thing I want to show you guys is the new library look that we talked about. And that would be just this here. So you can see basically a little preview of what's going on or what would be that each of those recording. And yeah, so you get basically for every single new recording that you do in 9.2, you have this little thumbnail. Now, as I'm talking, please just let me know if you have any questions and I can kind of show you how things are going. So then we're going to move on to the proxy file generation. So if I go to any of my clips here in 9.2, you can see in the playback settings here that I'll have the playback quality menu. Now before it was just the speed, but now I can set on the fly pretty much if I want to see the proxy. So this is the proxy resolution, not bad of a quality there. And I can just switch back to my original at any time. So if a user is seeing any sort of performance issues when they're on a cloud system, they can just switch over to the proxy format on the fly. And there was a question before about if it was frame accurate, and I'm able to just jump back and forth from the original to the proxy now. So let me look at some of the questions here. One of the questions was, it seemed like, so again, this is a hardware capability, so you'll have to get new hardware in order to do this functionality. If you upgrade to 9.2 and you do not have that hardware, you will not see this playback quality window. Somebody said that they missed the first half of the webinar. And again, it's just being able to switch over and it will just pick up from where you are. You don't have to start or stop it. The other option that we talked about today was closed captions. You'll see if you hover over the window here, you'll be able to use the closed captions. Just click it on and click it off. And you can actually use this ability, all kinds of closed captions, in a multi-view window. So if I go back to my library and I add some clips to my multi-viewer, let's not do that one. And then hit play. I'm using the multi-viewer in order to view each one of those videos at a time. So I could just go down and hit the closed captioning on each one of these, and you can see the closed captions being there. So if you can't hear each one of the clips, you can actually just have the closed captions on, and you can kind of look out for it inside the multi-viewer there.
Yeah, by the way, and I'll add to this that this is a great showcase of the proxy playback as well. So normally, for 4 videos in the multi-viewer, Dave is actually remote doing this demo, and so he's over a VPN connection to our office, and you see a spinny wheel showed up just now, but otherwise it's pretty smooth playback. And that's in part because these are all proxy copies, and we're pulling 1/5 of the bandwidth that we might otherwise be pulling. So proxy really helps with going back to the thing Dave was talking about right before this. Really can help with remote access, and this could be because you have offices on both coasts. It makes it so that SnapStream and all of its services are accessible wherever your users happen to be, at home, in another geography entirely, etc.
Yeah. So so that will show you again the layout here. The other thing that we talked about was our transcription video capabilities. So basically, if I see a clip that does not have transcription for one reason or another, I can select that clip, go to more actions, and hit transcribe. And you can actually make a list of all the different transcription items that you want to bring at once, and hit submit. And it will actually take those clips and do the transcription for that. And you can actually see kind of an example of that. I have an example right here. Let me grab it real quick. Pardon me for just a second. You can see that the clip has created a transcription just like any other clip here. And again, I can bring up my transcription closed captioning as well. So you can basically create things that don't have captions and be able to search with these captions as well. I've got a question in here. Can you feed the transcription feature in audio-only files such as MP3 and MP4? That's a great question. I do not believe that that is the case at the moment. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, on that.
You can.
You can. Okay, then I was wrong. You can give it an audio-only file to transcribe. Any other questions about the transcription service here? Okay, the last feature that we have is digital signage. So that, I've got another example here. Hold on for just a second. Just a second. So if I go into my library and I hit my playlists, you'll see an option that says play to set-top box. That will give you a list of different set-top boxes that are available in your environment, and you'd be able to just play that to the box. I've got a question on transcription. Is the transcription service only available for broadcast systems, or can it be used locally to created videos? It can be for both. So if it's over the air and you needed to do a transcription on something that you've captured, that's fine, but you can also do it with imported videos as well. I believe that's what you mean by locally created videos. So if there's something that you wanted to import into your library, you can have that transcript as well. And we have another question. Can you transcribe a clip within your content without affecting the larger clip? And I don't exactly know what you're asking there in that. So you can transcribe, yes, okay, I understand. So if you have a clip in your library, yes, you can just transcode that or transcribe just that clip and instead of the whole program itself. And that sounds like an answer to that question. I have a question about importing video to the library. Has been in a part of the software for a little while now. If you're inside your library, you can just upload a clip by going to the library on the right-hand side. There's an upload tab. And that is pretty much the end of this demonstration here. I'm going to throw it back to Aaron, and we'll answer some of your questions.
Thank you, Dave. Hope everyone enjoyed the demo. I know I did. Can everyone see my screen again? Raise your hand if you cannot. Okay, looks like you can. So I appreciate everyone listening today and joining the webinar. We really appreciate your interest in what we've been up to, and I hope that you are all now going to rush to snapstream.com/upgrade for your free upgrade to SnapStream 9.2, as long as you are still under a valid support contract. And also, I would love for you to stop by our booth at NAB this year in just a few weeks. We are in the South Upper Hall at booth 9802. And if you have any questions or requests that come up after this, please feel free to email Dave or to email me. Our emails are listed here, and I will also type them in the chat window shortly. So,
Aaron,
yeah.
I'm going to add something since we have a lot of our customers on the line. This is Rakesh again. I wanted to mention that at NAB in 2 weeks, a week and a half, we're going to be showcasing a lot of new capabilities in SnapStream around broadcast monitoring and compliance. Specifically around features that make us a great replacement for this product that is being end of sale called Volacon. So if you go to the front page of our website, you'll see a page we created for broadcast monitoring and compliance, and there's a lot of capabilities that we're adding into the product there. So if that's of interest to you, definitely schedule a meeting with us at NAB, and we'd love to show you what we're up to and